So this weekend's fixtures didn't go too well for me in terms of fantasy. I think the fixtures overall were pretty lacklustre. I mean, Scotland-France, not a great game, to be honest. Maybe weather defined it a little bit, but lots of kicking. England-Wales as well, 16-14, just sort of tense, but not anything special. And obviously we had Ireland, who won 36-0, which was kind of expected. But for me, my Ireland players didn't really perform, just picked the wrong ones. Let me know how you guys did down in the comments. I've checked the JG Rugby leagues and definitely have fallen down a little bit. Just didn't pick the right players is kind of the only thing, and changed my captain last minute, which didn't work out for the best. But as always, subscribe to the channel if you are new. There'll obviously be more fantasy videos coming up, and I can't wait for 2 weeks' time. So, diving into my team then. So, I got an overall score of 284 points. So, really not good. I actually think this is probably one of my worst rounds ever in fantasy. Maybe that's because of the rule changes and points changes. But, got to take it on the chin. Just didn't pick the right players this round. If I look at the front row, actually a pretty decent front row. And I hate to say this, and probably never said this before, my front row actually did the best out of all of the positions, which really is shocking. I did captain Dan Sheehan, took him out last minute for Doris, just because I thought Doris, maybe at 7, can do a little bit more, but I should have known he wasn't playing 8, but also thought that he'd stay on for longer, which he did as captain, but yeah, we all know Dan Sheehan absolutely stormed it, just a really bad last minute change, and I always say, don't trust last minute changes. Cyril By and Showman actually did really well, carried lots of meters and made lots of tackles as well, so I'm really happy with them. In the second row, watching that England game was really frustrating. Dav Jenkins didn't do much at all, to be honest, and of course Ollie Chesham went off for a head injury assessment really early on and then got a yellow card, so yeah, not the ideal start for me, especially trying to back the England-Wales game to be pretty physical, which it was, but it didn't show on my second row points at all. Then into the back row, pretty disappointing again. Wainwright, top performer last time out, was pretty silent, to be honest, in that England game. Probably should have kept with Earl from last weekend at home against Wales. Not ideal defence, but we went with Wainwright. Tried to upset the apple cart, but it didn't work. Greg Aldry actually went off pretty early and scored me 28 points. So he's just such a good performer and scores points week in, week out. But unfortunately, I don't think we'll be able to pick him now. It looked like a pretty serious injury. And then Caelan Doris, my captain. So he scored 20 points, 40 for me as captain. Didn't really do much. I've never seen a man hit so many rucks in my life. I was screaming for Doris to get out, get the ball in his hands, which he did a fair few times, but he was in every single ruck. Maybe that was because he was playing 7. But yeah, for me, watching that Ireland game, it was so frustrating, especially having switched my captain so late on. At halfbacks, not too bad. Russell did as I expected, kicked some goals, 24 points, really not too bad. Carried almost 50 metres as well. Didn't get an assist, which is shocking for Finn Russell, to be honest. But look, I was happy with 24 points. And Jack Crowley scored 34. He was the top performer in fly half. So yeah, Finn Russell, good pick. However, Thomas Williams, he got an assist, but only got 14 points. So it's just crazy to me. Ben White was the pick of the round, 22 points. So not like amazing high points. So average halfbacks, to say the least. Another frustrating area was my centres. Hugh Jones got an assist, really good assist actually. He also went down injured pretty early on in that Scotland game, and I thought, oh no, he's going off. But he didn't. He stayed on, got an assist pretty sharp after as well. But again, the annoyance comes from Robbie Henshaw. He carried 72 metres, which is pretty unbelievable to be honest, and beat 5 defenders. So to me, that should be a rack of points, but with the way the points work this season, just doesn't get you that many. 19 points, also got a try disallowed, which was so heartbreaking. Such a good try, but double movement. So, yeah, not ideal from my final, only back Irish pick. Then the back three is where it gets very, very disappointing. Usually the back three absolutely star-studded, get you the most points, and pretty much got a captain them week in, week out. That's not the case this week. Damien Penaud scored 11 points, which was not good at all, very quiet. Similar, Duhan van der Merwe, so quiet, hardly touched the ball to be honest, and again, in defence, he kind of goes missing sometimes, only made 2 tackles. Tommy Freeman wasn't too bad, carried almost 50 metres, beat 3 defenders, 14 points. Again, for a back 3 player, not good at all. But I was definitely watching that Ireland game, cringing a little bit, watching James Lowe absolutely tear it up. He was so silent like for 50 minutes, and then all of a sudden he just started to get the ball, scored that try, made about 50 metres whilst doing it, and got 50 points. So that did break my heart a little bit, because all of you down in the comments did say, why not pick Lowe? I was on track to make the right decision 50 minutes in, but after that, yeah, Lowe absolutely tore it up. And then finally, my super sub, Ronan Kelleher. So, again, pretty disappointing, especially Dan Sheehan, 37 points, and then Ronan Kelleher comes on and doesn't really do much at all. Carried a whopping 4 metres and made 5 tackles. So, got me 15 points as super sub. Really not the one, and definitely a waste of that Irish pick. Could have been James Lowe. So that's me. Pretty diabolical round by my standards, to be honest. 284 points, not good at all. I'm aiming for 400 week in, week out. So yeah, just wasn't the one. James Lowe, definitely a big omission there. But also people like Ben Earl. Scored 46 points, absolutely amazing. Tommy Rafal absolutely smashed it as well. Gail Fiku, 44 points too. And of course, Tomas Ramos, who I picked last week and took him out, scored over 30 points. So looking at like the team of the week in fantasy, it's not crazy points to be honest. It's just I missed out on those top performers, James Lowe and Ben Earl. That's kind of it. And then my captain pick was pretty lackluster. So that's the difference. Definitely excited for round 3 in a few weeks' time. Stay tuned to the channel as well, because we'll be making videos in the lead up. Thanks for watching everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.